Alright everybody, here is the F14. I'm hoping that you guys are going to bear with the picture quality. Part of the downside of having VR in DCS, as far as I'm aware, unless someone comes up with a smart way of fixing it for me, is that there's always a little bit of distortion. It's the price I pay to make sure everyone can see the entire screen, including mouse clicks, which will come important during the ramp start. Today's sortie is going to be flown in the GAW, or Hoggit Georgia War server. Let me put on my helmet so I can see properly. Oh, there goes the microphone. Okay, there we go. Hopefully that's a little bit nicer and clearer for y'all. There we go, now that the microphone isn't muted. So, as we were saying earlier there, today's mission, or series of missions, mostly going to be familiarization. I'm not going to be going too hardcore with the flying. I hope you guys can all see that just as clear. I've got to put the chat away with the tab key for the moment. There we go. So, right now, I am in a cold, dark jet for the F14 in Inapa, Inapa. This is quite a busy base in Hoggit GAW at this time of the session because it's the only base in the multiplayer environment which is basically a limitless aircraft. It has a lot of aircraft. It's also the furthest point from everywhere. Let's take that off. As you can see, according to the mission notes, a lot of players have been putting down markers, advertising, BAIs and so on, SAM systems and so on around here. So this is where we're going to find a lot of the ground pounding missions. Now, I'm in a Tomcat, I can do air to ground, but I'm not wired for that. I'm going to be setting myself up for air to air because of some requests that I've had for demonstration purposes. You see that F14 Bravo there, he's obviously fired a Fox 3 long at something out there. The nature of this F10 mission, the nature of the mission rules in this multiplayer server is that you don't get to see red fort aircraft, so we don't see what he's shooting at. We can bet it's something way off in the distance here, so when we take off, we're going to take off to the northeast and we're going to try and see if we can find ourselves some trouble out here. We have SRS enabled, which is the little window I have put in the top left corner of the screen that I'm looking at right now. And I'll be tuning my radio to that using the in-game systems, just for the benefit of it. I have some keybinds bound to my my HOTAS for VHF for the first radio, the second radio, and my intercom for if I get a Rio backseat, which I'm not expecting tonight. That being said, let's get into the pit. Now, I apologise, as I said earlier, for the frame rate. It's going to be a little choppy. I've decided to up the graphics quality so people can clearly read the gauges. I'll give you a quick tour left to right for the front seat. I'm not 100% up on my F14 front seat, I'm more of a backseat guy. But that being said, we'll get on with this. So, around about the centre, right here, you're going to have two screens. The center screen is the VDI, or the visual display indicator. Pilot cues and effectively a repeater for the HUD is going to show up there. That's more used for VFR, nighttime conditions for IFR, for example. But you also, as I'm flying, you'll see some other important information, vectors to follow from waypoints, things like that. The bottom there is a repeater for the tactical information display, which is the screen that the guy in the back gets. I can also set it to the compass or the HSD, which is what you'll be using when you are navigating, TACAN, things like that. We have some fairly standard gauges here on the right hand side of the VDI. We have there our standby attitude indicator. You left click on that to uncage it. Right now obviously we don't have any power in the jet, so it's not doing anything. These on the right here are not UHF controls, they are indicators to tell you what frequency your radio is tuned at. Down there you have an analog HSD effectively, which is only good for TACAN and distance. With the RWR display here on the right, and down at the bottom here we have the fuel gauge and totalizer. There is a wheel in the middle, if I remember rightly, so you can find it. There it is. So I can set bingo with this. G's and number of G's. It leaves a flag at the maximum G that you pulled, and you have your clock timer. Hook for carrier landings, and the gun counter, which you have to wind up to the full load initially. Displays, you gotta bear in mind that the heads-up display, which we will see soon, is a very old heads-up display. It's definitely generation 1, if not just to the late of it. So you basically can set the HUD to 6 modes. From top to bottom we have TO, takeoff, cruise for normal navigation, air to air, air to ground, and then just at the bottom there we have landing. Landing is such a critical part of naval operations that it gets its own HUD setting. We have a few panels there to control how much stuff gets thrown up on the landing screen, or the HUD. So basically you can control how much display information you're seeing. We have a few mode switches to choose, VDI to choose first of all if it's on or off, second of all to decide if we're showing on the bottom screen the TID, which is the tactical information display, the HSD, which is the heads up, the horizontal situation display repeater from the back seat, and of course the other option is the TCS, so you can get the camera feed as well. These are other settings for the navigation computer. Basically you can choose where you're getting your vectors from. That could be steer points programmed into the INS, that could be TACAN, that could be a number of things. We'll get to that later. Down here we have caution and warnings, and things like your spoiler overrides if you blow a wing flap, for example, and gun elevation lead adjustment. That's for manual gunnery. We're not going to mess with that too much. Down here we have up to 20 channels for the what amounts to the ILS. It's the AWL, or automatic landing system, if I remember rightly. Effectively, this is your ILS tuner. Think of it like TACAN. It's got channel numbers. So in this particular server, the Stennis is located at channel 17, if I recall correctly. Various wheels to control how bright the HUD and control panel is, formation lights and so on, external lights on here or here, collision lights, internal floodlights, taxi, the hook bypass. Basically the hook bypass, it doesn't bypass the hook itself, it bypasses the indicators on your heads-up display, your angle of attack indexers. Basically, you'll have a field operations mode and a carrier mode to control whether it's going to alert you that your hook is down or not. We have some built-in testing switches here. We won't be using them because, in my opinion, they're stupid for DCS. You're always given a perfect jet. Air source, generally the default situation for that is to have them for both engines, but you may have to turn them to the left or right source, for example, for emergency situations, if you have a fire in one engine or not. Or if you're refueling, so you don't accidentally ingest fuel vapor. And the air conditioning is basically the environmental control panel. Once again, this isn't a real, I'm not really going to get a fan blowing over me or air conditioning, so unless we have an emergency, we won't be touching that. Left side of the VDI now. Airspeed. Another G meter, just in case the standby one is out of work. Radar altimeter and barometric altimeter. Down here we have a few gauges to show you. Let me zoom in a bit. So we have RPM on the left, so left and right side RPM. TIT, turbine intake temperature, and fuel flow. We also have nozzle position, and some other indicators to do with hydraulic pressure and stuff like that. General position of your wings and flaps and your air brake, big gear lever, parking brake, parking beater brake. That's a readout of the position for your elevons and your rudder. Fuel transfer, fuel dump, master reset for your wing sweep, the CAD-C as it's known, refueling probes and anti-skid settings. You can also control the fuel quantity totalizer, so you can left click or right click it, and it will change this gauge to tell you what you're looking at. Position for the inlet ramps, you'll almost never touch this unless there's an emergency. Also left and right engine start. Set primary and secondary throttle modes, much the same as the F16 has its primary and secondary throttles. Hang on a minute, let me reset the camera. Go. Let's see. You've got your AFCS, which is your stability augmentation system basically. You'll generally leave that on throughout. And the autopilot. A very rudimentary one, I must say. Now there's the controls for the front, or the primary radio. The secondary radio is only controlled by the Rio, although you can talk on it as well. So basically, you can't tune the second radio. The Rio can. Likewise, the Rio cannot tune the front seat, but they can. Either one of them can talk on either. After that, you have TACAN. You also have ICS, the intercom system, and some ancillary adjustments for the RWR. And then back here, this little switch on its own, that's your oxygen. You have the throttle controls for the two white leaders, and this yellow lever is the manual adjustment for your wing sweep. Generally speaking, you'll push that all the way forward and click it in at the right time during the startup, which we'll go through shortly. Now this is a two-seater jet, and the smart people among you will observe that there's two people in my jet. That's because we have the AI Jester, which, for those of you who have been living under a rock, Jester in DCS is fucking awesome, and I won't hear anyone say anything otherwise. That being said, let's get ourselves a ramp start done. I've taken the liberty of already loading the aircraft with weapons and fuel, just for the interest of timeliness. So we have today's configuration, my personal favourite, 232. We have 2 Phoenix missiles, 3 AIM-7 Sparrows, and 2 9 mics. We also have a pair of 300 gallon drop tanks on the centre belly, because having that much fuel in a Tomcat is hilarious. You have so much endurance, it's amazing. Carry on regardless, I thought I'd check that. Yes, it's mostly for Cobra's benefit, but it can also be for the benefit of anyone else. Let me know if the music is getting in the way. I can happily turn it down. I will of course be archiving this for later use. But you know what, let's quit the music. Why? Because I say so. I'd like to be able to hear myself think. Alright, so Navy pilots, or Navy aircraft from this era, were designed just after the Forrestal Fire. For those of you who don't know what the Forrestal Fire is, go look it up. Wikipedia is your friend. Suffice to say, Senator John McCain has survived several things in his life, and a massive aircraft fire that claimed several lives and millions of dollars worth of equipment was one of them. The primary cause was terrible maintenance from terrible ordnance handling and a very cavalier approach to static electricity. But one of the other reasons, one of the other things was the notion for some of the older aircraft of having their own starter motors, gun cartridges that went off to start the fans spinning and stuff like that. The Tomcat was designed after that. It has no ability to start its own engines from the ground. It's all done by ground crew. All you do is control when you want the engines to start. So what we need is ground electric power. So we're going to ask the ground crew in the DCS menu for ground electric power. Now we have ground electric power. Jester, who's probably been screaming me in the back there, will actually be able to talk to me because the ICS will be working now.
Ground power is now on.
Then we're going to ask the ground crew for ground air supply, and we're going to connect that as well.
Ground air supply.
And now that we have power, you see gauges turning,
Ground air supply is
things
now connected.
starting to kind of do what they're told about. Once I hear that ground air supply is connected, there we go. We've got a few candy cane lights here now, but that's no problem at all. So there's the caution warning panel light up. The object of this minigame is to get all of those lights out. So, we're going to look down and to our right. We're going to flip on the oxygen. This is an old aircraft. It does not have an O-bogs as such. You just have your own oxygen supply. You will want this on. We're going to arm the ejection seat, and then using buttons that I've already bound, we're going to talk to Jester.
Okay.
We're going to ask him to do a startup.
Check. Can you hear me?
First of all, what he does is he checks to make sure that you can hear him okay. Which is also the DCS way, a subtle way of saying, are you sure you're ready to start? He's going to click some buttons in the background, turn on the radio, that kind of thing. I'm expected to do the same down here. In a multiplayer environment, turning on radios is not really optional. He's just said he's going to turn on the canopy, close the canopy. In real life, that's considered an important call because we don't want your arms inside it. No, actually. Okay.
Visibility 43. Cloud conditions broken 100. Temperature 10.7 Celsius. Altimeter 3005. Remarks 1017 hectopascal. QFE 29er89er1012. End information Charlie. This is a Napa Vijayzevo information Charlie. Runway in use is 04.
Brilliant.
050 at 2 knots. Visibility 43. Cloud conditions broken 100.
So you just heard why SRS is fucking awesome. So on this server, someone very cleverly set up a way of having an automated ATIS system and a script that pulls the weather from Georgia every day. In other words, the weather conditions are as accurate as DCS allows. ATIS repeats those weather conditions and altimeter settings, and I now have them. Now, this is important because I now know what the active runway is, they said, right? And we all want to be taken off in the same direction without crashing into each other, which is something that in other multiplayer servers can happen terribly often, sadly. Runway 04 is in use, so using this map here, we're going to turn left. Sorry, we're going to turn right onto the airfield, and we're going to take off down at the bottom here. There we go. So it'll be a right turn there. We'll basically follow that MiG-21 on the right there. Never thought I'd say that in a million years. And there we go. Brilliant. Before we do that though, we need to crank the engines. So we always start the right engine, as far as I'm aware. I'm going to set the air source to both engines. I'm going to set the lighting conditions as desired. I was like a little red light. Turn on the anti-collision, the formation lights. Get the tail position lights on. And the wing position lights. And we see there, the right engine is idling up, so we're going to left click on the fuel cutoff lever, and that's going to bring the engine forward. Nada VFR wants to join my aircraft. He cannot, I'm afraid. How's he, Ghost? And a belated thank you for the subscription, by the way. Then the switch clicks off by itself when it realises we've got a valid ignition for the right engine. And we're going to take the left engine crank. And once that's spooled up enough, we're going to hit the left engine on. That being done, now we've got stable power. I'm going to turn on all the electronics, so VDI up, the TID repeater up, and I'm going to set that to the TID information screen so that when he decides he finally wants to get his ship together, we'll get that going. I'm going to power on the HSD as well. One thing you will have to wrap your head around is that the centered T, which you're now looking at for the HUD, is the wing's level position. Yep, it doesn't match the wing's level. This is normal. The HUD in the F14 was painted onto the glass, is reflected onto the glass rather than its own indicator. So the HUD says its wing's level, and this is the wing's level setting. This means it was basically either this or have nowhere near enough data at the top. It would just get cut off of your vision. So there will be this disconnect between where the horizontal situation, the artificial horizon on the HUD is and where you actually are. So if you ever put this on the horizon and you find yourself climbing, that's why. It's normal. You will have to obey the HUD indicator, not the actual position of the HUD. What's happening right now, just to explain in the background there, is the Rio is setting up the initial position and the nav alignment. The nav alignment starts at the side here and goes all the way to the right when it's validly aligned. The T is considered the bare minimum requirement for valid weapons. We're going to ask for a go fine. Because I want it fully aligned, because I plan on being up in the air for a little bit. While that's happening, I'm going to announce my intentions to INAPA traffic, because in this world we need to actually talk to the other pilots. It's one of the upsides and one of the downsides of SRS. You will need to be a social person. Sorry. INAPA traffic, Ghost Dog 688, 1 by F14 for takeoff for runway 04. Ramp start beginning at time. So nobody's replying to me, which means it's an uncontrolled airfield. You just announce your intentions. He's still programming stuff into the machine. That's what those button clicks you can hear are. Again, there's the VDI up, and Jester has enabled the INS. He's still programming stuff in. I'm going to turn on the AFCS, which gets rid of those. We're getting a master caution to do with our wing sweep and our CAD-C, but we always unfurl our wings just before we hit the taxiway, because you may not have noticed this, but they're pretty wide wings. So for now, we're going to get rid of Mr. Master Caution.
Ready to taxi.
That's the words we're looking for. So using the buttons that I've got bound for the nose wheel steering, we'll set all that shit up. Quick check if the brakes are operational. We're going to push this slider all the way forward, and we're going to right click on it to bring it in. Boop. There we go. That has extended the wings fully. And we have the flaps all the way up, down, down. We're going to bring the flaps all the way up. And we can cut them all the way back to the 60 degree position. And now I'm oversweeping them to the 68 degree position. No, sorry, that was the 50 degree position. So that's means you've put them back to the oversweep position, but with my controls rather than with just manual setup. Next thing we need to do is we need to tell Jester to configure the back seat. So we are going to first of all have him set the radio up. I want him on. We'll have him listen to Overlord at the moment. And the data link. It's fine. I'm going to set that mode to the tactical data link system. And hopefully he will have a brain cell and tune this to. Where is it? Oh. Data link. Host. Just tell him I want to listen to the E3's data link. What that's done, effectively, is I'm now getting data from the E3, so all these positions with the hooks on the bottom, that's data links. If there are hooks on the top, it's my radar, my sensors that are determining that. So we're going to take a look at my default game name position, which is Colt 51. We're then going to taxi for runway 04. Colt 51, good day for enough traffic, taxiing for runway 04. So, brakes are on, parking brakes forward. We're going to start running up the engines and getting our ass moving. Now I'm just putting the positions up very gradually, because once this thing gets going, slowing it down is a fucking pain in the ass. Frame rate will improve dramatically once I'm away from the ground, so don't worry too much about it at this stage. Feed my child and watch me at the same time. Alright, Ice, no problem, thank you. That's actually some of the best news I've heard all day. Thank you for that. Stomp on the brakes a little bit, because as I said, she likes to run away with me once she brings up the once she brings up the speed. So it's usually just a few squirts of the throttle every now and then, and a few stands on the brakes as we go. Now I'm just running this rotary position here for the gun ammunition. Forgot to set that, so I'm going to set that now while I remember. Because they will stop trying to turn the barrel physically in the gun when this counter goes down to 0, regardless of what is physically there. Generally speaking, I just have it turned up full tilt. Check the mirror. Yeah, I'm looking good. Yep, nothing behind me really, that's fine. Now, checking the runway for obstructions and checking landing and approach airway is important. So I usually make a point of trying to hold short, if not just slowing down. Enough traffic, Uzi 51, 1 by F14, taking active runway 04 for takeoff northeast. It's the point where I unfurl the wings, stand on the brakes, set the flaps. You do not do afterburner takeoffs in an F14. There are two reasons for it. One, you don't need that much speed. Two, if you do, you're carrying too much shit. Stop it. cutscene master reset. Okay, we're going to finish the stick forward. We're going to let go of the brakes. I'm going to wait for the nose wheel steering to become a little too effective for my liking. Alright, we're going to take a little left rudder because I didn't square it up properly. And we are good to start nosing up. And you see she just loves to just get airborne.
Bra 245, 1 mile. And a friendly Bra 135, 27
Positive
miles.
rate.
And a friendly 3-shift Bra 115,
Gear up.
40 miles. Angels 12. Looks like nails 3 o'clock.
Flaps up as soon as practical. And once I see that red light is out, my gear is up. Now we flip the hydraulic isolation switch to flight, which doesn't cross-control the hydraulics. This is considered a bad thing if we have a hydraulic failure in flight. And now I'm just trimming the aircraft, getting the thrust and the pitch all set up the way I want it. And just generally making sure that the rudder trim and everything is what I expect it to be. That being said and achieved, we hit the cruise. Brilliant. And we tune out of 249.5 once we've signed off. In this server, it's 253 is the general air frequency. Call 51 in Napa traffic, leaving your airspace. Good day.
Overlord, Uzi 5-1. Request bogey dope.
Alright, then we persuade very gently Jester to start looking for targets for us. I'm going to set the scan distance on the radar to 200 nautical miles, which is more than enough notice for me. I'm going to reset my field of view a little. There we go. We are just going to fly out this direction until we bump into shit. Technical term, I know, but that's how this cap is going to work for me. I'm also going to use this gentle climb. I'm going to try and get above the clouds. Get as much of this radar up online as possible.
Overlord, Colt 6-2. Request bogey dope. Colt 6-2. Overlord, Bra 078-430 at 24,000 knots.
Colt 5-1, 1 by F14, checking in northeast of Anapa for a northeast cap.
Colt 6-1. Overlord, Bra 047-422 at 26,000 flanking.
So Overlord is trying to give me vectors to follow.
Overlord, Bra 107-110 at.
There you go, 107 for 110. See that?
We have a friendly 3-shift Bra 100, 63 miles.
Colt 5-1 checking in 124. Good day. Alright, so we actually have a human AWACS. Brilliant. I couldn't have hoped for a better situation. So I'm going to go ahead and tune... Oh, my radio doesn't go that far. So we're going to ask... That's right, Jester's the one with the VHF radio. So 124, 124, 124.
Overlord, Bra 045-424 at 30,000 flanking.
It's probably a channel that I don't know, but that's fine. So we'll just set the manual tuner. 1, 2, 4.
Whoa, I got dirt at 1 o'clock. Roger.
One, two, 4, 0,
We have a,
0,
looks
0.
like a Bandit. 110, 95 miles, 600 feet. Roger that. Okay, there's a spike 1 o'clock.
Uzi 5-1, Overlord, radio check.
Friendly 4-ship, Bra, 105, 74 miles, Angels 9.
Someone's trying to talk to us. Last station, you're not holding your mic down enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to get an STT lock on the first enemy target ahead. See if he can't find him. Magic, Uzi 5-1, radio check. AWACS, Uzi 5-1, radio check. Uzi 5-1, nothing heard, out. Alright, so we've been called over, but it doesn't seem to be on.
No can do, sir.
It's possibly just disconnected, that would be why. That's fine. We'll just follow directives all the way. Uzi 5-1, radio check. Oh, thank you. Did I hear the Overlord on 124? Magic, radio check. This is weird. Okay, fine. We don't have a human AWACS. Suits me fine. Let's get back on the normal radio.
Roger. Not able.
Overlord, Colt, 6-2, request bogey dope. Colt, 6-2, Overlord, clean.
Let's have a chat with Overlord ourselves.
Overlord, Colt, 5-1, request picture. Colt, 5-1, Overlord, clean.
Okay, picture clean, that's fine. So we'll resume our cap out to the northeast. Now one thing I would very much comment on with the handling abilities of the F14 is she does love to climb, she does love to roll, and she does love to pitch.
Now there's dirt at
You
2
must
o'clock.
obey the turn and slip coordinator. The little ball right in the middle, just above the VDI. This little fella here. If you put that ball way out of conditions, you will spin the aircraft. Recovery for spins is infamously terrible. Oh, and my apologies. That's not a G meter. That's a a climateometer, basically. Objective Stifler's mom has come online. Fucking Christ. Oh god, this place has got a sense of humour.
Magic target.
Okay, nails, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and nails, 1 o'clock.
70,000. Where did that come from? Okay, we'll just turn in on that then, I guess. Right, we're shooting down the SR-71 Blackbird. Ah, see, now that's a bit more reasonable. 108 for 140.
Okay. Magic be advised, estimated flight completed 4518457.
Zero 0 for 60. That is something I should do about.
Roger. No can do. We've got nails, 1 o'clock.
Oh, I definitely lost myself some power there. Don't know why, I've obviously been leaning on my throttle. That's a nasty habit I need to get out of.
No can do. No sir, no can do. Nails on our nose, 12 o'clock. Not able.
What the hell's wrong with you, buddy?
There is a friendly 57 miles, Angel 6. Cannot comply. Got
Alright, it's got some MiG-31s on the nose, according to the RWR. We should be seeing those guys.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Now, this is the nice thing about the AUG-9. It's an old aircraft. It's an old system. Lots of analog circuits and wires. So it doesn't always do a good job of finding shit, especially low altitude stuff.
Negative, not able.
For example,
Roger that. Security forces are loaded, pushing to target warehouse.
Unable.
253 target, multiple missile launches on you.
alright, so this is the friendly airfield of Krasnodar Spaskovsky. So we're down in about more like 10,000 feet. Yep, so we should be looking above us.
Looks like nails, 3 o'clock.
There we go, contact's on the distance.
Wilco. Unable. Okay. Missile. 2 o'clock. Hot. Break left. Not able.
Ding dong, Jared. Another manpad launch. 130 at 35,000 flanking. Colt 5-1, Overlord, Bra, 112,
Very strange seeing a missile observer.
flanking.
But let's go head out to the let's head back out northwards and hit the reset button.
136, Fort 130 at
Heads
30,000.
up, nails, 5 o'clock.
Colt 5-1, Overlord, Bra, 159, 480 at 11,000 knots.
I've got dirt at 6
Colt
o'clock.
5-1, Overlord, Bra, 124, 480 at 11,000 knots. Colt 5-1, Overlord, Bra, 124, 480 at
To
11,000.
ease up on the power a little.
5-1, Overlord, Bra, 136.
We've got 4,000 bingo. Let's set that up to more like 6,000, I think.
Colt 5-1, Overlord, Bra, 135,
You know what? I'm not going to mess with it too much right now. I've got too busy. I've got too busy things. I'm too busy with other things.
Colt 5-1, Overlord, Bra, 134, Fort 130 at 35,000 knots. Colt 5-1, Overlord, Bra,
There is a Bandit Bra, run 65 miles.
6-1 for 90. That's important.
Colt 5-1, Overlord, Bra, 118, 480 at 6,000 flanking.
Alright, I see them down the middle there.
Friendly 2-ship.
Colt 5-1,
170, 76 miles. Angels 18. Hey, I got some dirt at 11 o'clock.
500 flanking. Colt 5-1,
Roger.
Overlord, Bra, 123,
Got him locked.
Fort
Alright, we got
5
locks.
miles. We locked the friendly.
No, we didn't.
11 o'clock, he's locking us. Roger. Roger that. Friendly, A10, 1 o'clock, 6 miles. Got locked. You spiked a friendly.
For God's sake.
Roger that. I got a lock. You spiked a friendly. Roger that.
Colt 5-1, Overlord, Bra, 128, Fort 110 at 29,000 knots.
Copy.
Colt 5-1, Overlord, Bra,
You got it.
129, Fort 110
I've got a
at
lock.
30,000 knots.
There we go. Okay, so same looks. Just to explain what's going on.
119,
That T is the center.
at 15,000 knots.
So
I've got some dirt on the nose.
So we want to center that T right in the middle of the dot. Our range markers at the moment indicate to me that we are within range.
Missile. 11 o'clock. Break right. I lost lock. Yep, that's dirt at 11 o'clock. And a spike 12 o'clock.
69, 450 at
Looks like there's dirt at 7 o'clock.
The hell was that missile from?
Heads up, nails. 6 o'clock.
Hot mic.
Colt 5-1, Overlord, Bra, 118,
Hot mic.
70 at
Oh God. Hey, do we have a human AWACS on station?
Confirm that up GCA metric 124.
124, thank you.
Credit.
5-1, Overlord.
Because as you can see, the ED automatic AWACS just gives me far too much information, and none of it's really been actionable so far.
Nails, 8 o'clock.
Geometric, this is Colt 5-1, 1 by F14 over Krasno P. Checking in 2 Fox 3s, 3 Fox 1s, 2 Fox 2s ready for cap.
There is a friendly 260, 66 miles, Angels 2.
Must be 134, because he's not talking to me on 124. That's fine. Let's try this again.
Friendly, Bra 195, 60 miles, Angels 20. Roger that.
And additional F5 with them.
There we go.
Intro 33, 23 miles. Okay, Jared, turning in.
Geometric, Colt 5-1, 1 by F14 with you at Krasno P, 10,000 feet. 2 by Fox 3s, 3 by Fox 1s, 2 by Fox 2s ready.
FMS copy radar contact Buster Bra 11763. Alright, Jared, Fox 3 close. Yeah, missile. God damn it.
Colt 5-1 is Buster 113. Colt 5-1 will be found Ghost Dog 688.
Yep, that's good at 11 o'clock. Whoa, I got dirt at 1 o'clock.
Jared's it, going down. Where in for Jarhead? There's too many of them.
Okay, there's dirt, 12 o'clock.
So yeah, Ghost Dog, you're headed into that.
Give me vectors. I've got 2 Phoenixes. I can throw them there.
Copy, bearing 117 for 48. 3 group, direction 3 bandit, type 27, 25, and 33.
Understood. 117 distance.
Approximately 43.
117 for 43. Thank you.
There's a Bandit 4-ship, Bra 175, 48 miles.
Magic, this is Captain. This is respawn back at Nova. And 16, what do you need? Yeah, the ground away there.
Ooh, getting a loading screen.
He's locking us 11 o'clock.
Come back to that, Colin. You state your call sign. Magic, this is Captain. Copy, Captain. At the moment we need.
Yes, sir. Now there's dirt at 2 o'clock. Spiking him. Looks like nails, 3 o'clock. Target, 40 miles.
Geometric, Colt 5-1, ray gun 100, 40 miles.
Just medic cleared hot. Type 27.
Colt 5-1, Fox 3 long, type 27, 40 miles.
Party time. Miss 11 o'clock low. Break right. Watch out for that Stinger, 11 o'clock. And a Stinger, 12 o'clock.
17, chasing 21.
Colt 5-1, acknowledged, I'm correct.
Damn it, I lost the lock.
Cap Colt 5 1 looks like they're going for friendly behind you. Continue heading about 127.
Colt 5-1, unable, I've been spiked.
Nails, 7 o'clock.
Copy Colt 5 1 117 for 13-27 in trail 2000. Correction, 24,000. You're doing twice your speed.
Copy, in.
Ghost Dog Magic Bandit 269er 4.5. Hold 13,000 Victor 1.
Looks like dirt on our 6.
Colt 5-1, contact on my nose, confirm I'm merged.
Missile,
Contact house
11 o'clock.
27,
Hot, break right. Bandit, flanker, 12 o'clock. 2 miles. 12 o'clock. We're on a 6. Nice job. Missile, 12 o'clock. Hot.
Why am I not getting a missile launch?
F-18, 10 o'clock. 2 miles. He's on our nose. Keep him there.
What the hell is this? Shit, didn't print the missiles. That was my fault.
He's on our nose. Keep him there. He's dead ahead, man. Come on, reach out and touch him.
Colt 5-1, Fox 2. Splash.
Bandit is going down.
Thanks
You
for
got it.
Splash. News Bandit Square 152 9er. Less than 1,000 type of 5.
Magic, say that one again.
My apologies. 169er 8.5.
Spike,
10,000
12
type of
o'clock.
5.
Copy F5, 169, thank you.
Profile 1 Magic. Pop group 166 for 28. 10.1.
Copy that. Shit, they got one of ours. Got a lock. There's a bogey. F5, 1 o'clock. 2 miles. 4 o'clock low. 5 o'clock.
Copy Colt 5-1 is merged. Confirm the contact on the... Colt 5-1, Fox 2.
Recommend Magic. Intercept file 15741.
No can do, boss. Missile, Mr. Target. Bandit, fish bed, 12 o'clock, 2 miles.
Fox 2, correction, Fox 1, fish bed, 2 mile.
Flash.
Splash 1. Copy. I'm lucky because I can see that guy marking. Seen.
Target, 6 miles.
Go 5-1, Fox 1, 6 miles.
Missile, 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 12 o'clock. Hot, break right. Hey, we got dirt, 7 o'clock. Splash.
Splash 1.
The bandit is going down.
Nearest bandit was 460, type 25, Angels.
Confirm type 25 for 064, thank you.
Ghost Dog, actually, correction, Colt 52, anchor there, bandit bra 143, 7833 is inbound.
We'll anchor at aim for 143.
Yeah, you just stay around there until they get just a bit closer. Don't need to go towards the same.
I've got Phoenixes, then I can turn around.
There's a bandit, 2 ships. Bra, 145, 72 miles, 36,000. Roger. I've got a lock. Oh, there's dirt at 9 o'clock. Roger. Mud, 11 o'clock. Got lock. Roger. Got lock. Target, 70 miles.
Contact 70 miles on the nose, bearing 130. This is for Ghost Dog 688, sorry.
We got 143 for 582, shoot 53, 65,000, good hot.
Go 5-1, Fox 3 long.
10 o'clock.
Rocket Man, Magic, intercept bra 107.
Target, 62 miles.
Type 25.
Right, we're going to let this guy stay on. So, there's a lot going on right now. Sorry if it's not the most informative, but once I'm done with these two contacts,
Range 44 miles.
I intend to RTB and we'll take ourselves to the carrier. It's our fuel state actually.
Target, 52 miles.
Good on fuel. So all I'm trying to do is keep the T centered up, so if I need a follow-on shot, it's covering the smallest distance possible.
Yep, Magic has you 5x5 right up front.
Okay, there's dirt at 8 o'clock. Okay, he's locking us, 12 o'clock.
Very good. Still cap, I assume? Very good.
Colt 5-1, Magic, Fox 3 again, 40 miles. Alright, nothing else I can do with it now, I'm just going to have to notch it, put it to the notch.
Singer, 6 o'clock. And a Spice, 11 o'clock. I lost lock.
Colt 5-1, Fox 3s are snipped.
Missile, 10 o'clock. Hot, break right.
Colt 5-1 is defensive.
Oh, there's dirt at 9 o'clock.
There we go.
One Magic, one Bandit is almost quick, but can be. We've got 133 in trail, 13 miles, 26,000. Rocket Man, Magic, intercept bra 105, 17, type 25, 52,000.
Charlie, Gorilla Group, bearing 270, 72 miles, Angels 10. Roger. Missile, 7 o'clock.
Oh no, that's close.
Dirt, 12 o'clock. And, Stinger, 5 o'clock.
Colt 5-1 is defensive, MiG-29, Spike. I'd appreciate help if able. Right.
7 o'clock. Hot. Break right. We've got dirt, 1 o'clock. And dirt, 10 o'clock. Missile, 7 o'clock.
Oh shit.
Whoever was that was just responding to the chat. What's your call sign?
Yep, I just had to G-lock. There we go. Well, that's one way to land. Yeah, the game capture, it's probably pretty much accurate. Frame rates for me are not exactly a thing for DCS. Fortunately for me, I'm relatively comfortable with it. It doesn't give me motion sickness. But yes, I have had occasion to notice my frame rate is, well, pretty fucking awesome. Phoenix, I'm comfortable with that because I remember frame rates slower than that. It's just the way I am. Having Slideshow Simulator 2015 is... I can fill the gaps in. Also, the nice thing with VR is it does this really cool thing where it kind of guesses the frames in between, so I don't actually feel it as badly as you would think. What I am going to do is I'm just going to quit DCS and jump back into it very quickly. Yeah, Phoenix, I have a long memory, so yes, I'm quite familiar with frame rates. This has been basically what I can deem to be acceptable for a long period of time, so as I say, everyone's got their own idea of what's acceptable. I normally see more like closer to 20. When OBS goes on, that does kill my frame rate just a lot, but that is what you see is what I see. I'm just going to do a very quick restart of DCS. I will turn the settings down a bit just because people will do want a slightly higher frame rate. That's okay, Ice. I do not want donations from you, buddy. I want you to feed your child and keep them happy, healthy, and educated, so they can get a nice frame rate on their Cray 15 supercomputer when I'm old and grey. It's not about having a better computer necessarily. I have an i7 3770K. I have 32 gigs of DDR3 RAM and a GTX 970. It's not a terrible computer. It's just DCS is horribly optimized for VR. That is just a reality of it. Now it's complaining because it thinks there's only one instance of DCS allowed to be running, even though I've closed it. I've seen this plenty of times. I contend that I do have my priorities right. It's okay, Phoenix. I don't need another rig. That will happen eventually, don't worry. This thing has only got maybe another year or two left in it before I start going, nope. I just would not feel comfortable getting that done anywhere else. No, 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 Ice. It is bloody not. I learned that the hard way a long time ago. Besides, remember, I've worked in retail for 10 years. I'm a patient individual. I'm not a massive graphics person. I thought I'd turn the graphics up a little bit for the benefit of those that want to be able to read the dials. Phoenix, I haven't even started my driving license. That's just not even happened this year. I have credit cards to pay back. I'm required by law to have a lot of patience. It's called working in retail for 10 years. The only people more patient than me are either saints or they're dead. Or maybe they're teachers, I don't know. Right, let's turn the graphics down a lot. So we'll start by lowering the resolution. Nah, I don't really want to do that. We're going to turn shadows way down, because that's a terrible thing for this. Visible range. Well, I kind of want range. Water, I don't care about. Water can do one. Textures are already at medium. I really want high resolution cockpits. I will turn off the anti-aliasing. It'll look jaggy as fuck, but I'm not so much of a fan of that. I don't care either way. Rain droplets not really featured. I do want the cockpit global illumination because that will help. Being able to read shit, you know. Well, up preload because I do have a solid state drive that this thing runs off of. I'm not totally stone aged. I'm going to turn down the tree visibility. I don't care too much about being able to see trees, and I certainly don't care about seeing grass. Let's see. Yes, that should do better. Now DCS is going to restart, because reasons. Yeah, I figured that, Phoenix. I usually have it turned on to about 2-ish, because it actually does help reading the gauges a little. But I don't drive. No. All my driving, the only driving I do is with the pedals and the pedals and stick that I have for my VR, for my sim racing. I have more time in fake cars than I have in real cars. Well, at least driving them anyway. I've been a passenger, of course. It's not like you live in a complete stone age. I'm not Amish, for fuck's sake. Alright, let's see if that's... Yeah, it helps a little. But yeah, in terms of maneuverability, as you see, I'm able to turn pretty well. It just requires very controlled movement with the rudder. And the Tomcat definitely prefers to run fast. If you're moving around it plus Mach 1 with your hair on fire, the Tomcat will behave quite nicely. When it's very low speed, it handles. You will be dropping all your flaps and everything out to make it handle, but it handles, as we'll soon see when I'm trying to land. Oh, excuse me. I forgot to mention as well, one of the other reasons why frame rate can stutter a little bit is multiplayer in DCS is not the fastest, especially for servers like what we're on, where there's lots of scripts running in the background. And that is just a limitation of the game engine, unfortunately. It's going to be one of those things we definitely look forward to getting upgraded sometime in the next century. Until now, we'll just do what we can. Already seems a bit smoother. That's an improvement, I suppose. Shouldn't imagine the loading times would be too drastic. I'm going to look at getting a new headset and microphone for my Christmas/New Year sometime, instead of this one popping off my ear every now and then. Okay. All kinds of weird shit happens when you're first loading into the game. Okay, that seems a bit better, I suppose. I hope that's somewhat tolerable for all you. That being said, let's get this aircraft set up again, huh?
Request rearming. Copy.
So that's happened. Let's send the orders for power,
Chief, turn on the ground power.
air supply.
Copy. Connect ground air supply. Rearming complete.
Now give me power.
Copy. Ground power is now on.
Now give me air supply.
Ground air supply is now connected.
Brilliant. Now my aircraft is alive, connected to the is now alive and connected to all the hooks and wires, and is actually breathing. Okay. Oh, come on, behave you. That's what's going on. Oh, piss off. Stupid thing. There we go. You always know when you've lost your, it's when something's popped up on your front screen in VR, because when you click, things don't happen anymore. Ah, oh, itchy ear, sorry. Oh, that was really annoying. Alright. Give me a start.
Roger that. ICS comm check. All right. I'm closing the canopy. Ready to start.
So yeah, the last time I gave you kind of an abbreviated startup. I missed a few important things like turning on the radar altimeter for the carrier. But there you have it. What we'll do is, server's going to be restarting in 20 minutes, so we're just going to go straight to the carrier. How about that?
hectopascal.
This is the engine starting up. If we give them some air supply, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Copy. Yes, sir.
So we'll set the host to the air to the E3 at the moment, but we will need to change that to the carrier soon. There we go.
Roger.
Alright. And for traffic, Ghost Dog 688, video check. So we'll go fine, because it won't take us long. Now when we're setting up for the carrier landings, it's a little different. When we land on the carrier, we need to be mindful of our total weight. We're probably actually going to be losing fuel, because we need to land with no more than £6,000 worth of fuel as an original roll, and that's with a clean aircraft. We're currently carrying £70,000 worth of gear total, including fuel. We're too heavy to land, at least land safely. I have a quick peek at the keyboard. It does very helpfully give us a trap sheet. That's handy. We know that the Stennis is on 74 X-ray, which I've asked Jester to tune us into. Once we are clear of the sky, once we can actually see the airfield or the carrier, we'll be able to probably get Red Crown ATIS. We'll need to actually see the ocean effectively. We need to be able to have our aircraft above the horizon. Once he says we're ready to taxi, we'll start.
Ready to taxi.
Alpha traffic, Colt 51. And Alpha traffic, Colt 51, Ghost Dog 688 for takeoff runway 04. That'll be southwest bound. Turn off the parking brake, that would be helpful. It's just about getting contact with Stennis. And Alpha traffic, Colt 51, taking off runway 04.
CO will bust our balls for that.
Oh well.
2-ship, bra, 355, 1 mile. And a friendly 3-ship, bra, 135, 25 miles. Angels 3.
Alright, good positive rate. Gears going up. Flaps going up. Get the hydraulic isolation out. I'm going to take a left-hand turn to leave the traffic for the airsfield. We'll get onto the coast.
Traffic, 4 o'clock, high, 3 miles.
Then let's select the cruise mode. Let's get the TID into HSD and select TACAN data. We're starting to get valid TACAN. Alrighty then, so here we have the TACAN.
Nails, 7 o'clock.
We're going to fly.
To all players, let's go midnight. Final bullseye call. Single group 10164 1029. Bullseye 133. Tank 31. Magic midnight.
Good work, Magic. Thanks for it. See you soon.
See ya.
Let's just check. TACAN is set correctly.
Roger. There's a friendly KC-135, 12 o'clock, 10 miles.
Good for him.
Nails, 1 o'clock.
So we're going to take a left-hand turn heading. There we go.
Oh, I'm showing nails, 11 o'clock.
Ah, nails 11 o'clock, huh? Interesting. We have to fight our way to the carrier. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Oh shit, right down the funnel. Well, shit.
Can do. I can't do that.
Come on, you can find them right there.
Unable. Friendly 2-ship, bra, 145, 74 miles. Angels 1. Unable. Don't do that, boss. Roger. Unable. We've got what looks like a friendly 2-ship, bra, 130, 74 miles. Angels 1.
Huh. Nothing really up there. Oh well. We'll just turn in for TACAN then, won't we?
Friendly, bra, 090, 115 miles. Angels 7.
Now there's a very distinct possibility I'm not going to make the carrier in time, so that's no big deal if it happens. We'll take the server restart and I'll go straight to case 1s there and then.
Not able. I can't do that. Oh, I got nails on our nose. 12 o'clock. No, sir. No can do. Yep, roger that. Got him locked. Target, 76 miles.
Alright, so that's the missiles getting prepped now. They take a few seconds, so you do have to make sure you hit the missile prep button, like I forgot. This guy is not getting our tanker. Not today, little guy. Now, you can see from the range ticker here,
68 miles.
this is max range, this is the range for the target, and as you can see it's inside range. That's basically the very, very basic gist of how you read it. So in other words, if this aircraft continues its current course and speed and altitude, we have range on him at 86 miles. And he is 80 miles. So actually it would be 90? 90?
58 miles.
So we're getting target readouts because we're single target track on him. Now you can fire in Twiz, but I don't like it when there's friendlies around because sometimes it goes a bit stupid. I'm not sure if that's realistic or not, but bottom line is it's something I'm dealing with. He's down low and in the weeds. Right, all grey along the master control panel there, so we know that our missiles are armed and ready to take fire.
50 miles.
50 miles, that's as good a place as any. Fox 3. There we go, white barber poles, hot trigger, right? That is what it's supposed to look for, valid.
Target, 42 miles.
Fox 3. So we're well inside the range carrot for these missiles. There's it streaking off into the distance. I've deliberately picked the smoky one so you can see him fly out. Now at this point in time we can start using the TCS, or we can try. We're 40 odd miles away out though, so I didn't expect it to see very much. But basically, if you fire anywhere within this circle that's in the middle of the VDI, your missile will make the turn. If you center up the T like this,
Target, 33 miles.
it will only have to fire straight ahead. And as you can see, he's now trying to maneuver.
I lost lock.
Oh, we've broke lock, so either we killed him.
Heads up, I've got nails, 11 o'clock. I can't do that. No, I can't do that. Unable to do that. Yeah, I can't do that. Roger. Not able.
So either we killed him, or he flew into the ground. Either way, he isn't moving anymore.
I can't do that. Yep. Got him spiked.
There we go, more enemies.
Target, 94 miles. I lost lock.
Of course we did. That's why we lost lock. Server just reset. There we go. And there you have it, guys. There's about a 2-hour session of the F14. Hopefully it'll be looking a lot smoother on the second run. Just refreshing my Twitch page, making sure my chat is still working properly. Which means I have lost all previous chat that was in the message, so if you just sent me something less than 2 minutes ago, you'll need to resend it. But other than that, we can see just fine. Alright, there we go. So, server has reset itself. We're into the next session, which is basically they advance the time forward to current time a little bit more. We'll just take our new slots, or existing slots as it would be. This time though, I am going to take off from the carrier actually, if there's a space for me. There is indeed. I'll take the Stennis slot. Practice some takeoff procedures on the carrier, and I'll just go around and land. I'll not be putting weapons aboard. Where we started. I can see the wires in front of me just about, so we must be on the after section. So we wait for the textures to continue loading in and so on. I'll be able to load the aircraft up, or just double check its fuel loadout. I don't need as much fuel as I'll probably be carrying, but that's fine. Too much fuel means I can do a few bolters. And I will do a few bolters, because it's been a while since I've done carrier lands. I'm definitely not current. Excellent. There's a Harrier, there's a Hornet right next to me. Alright. I won't be tacking on any extra fuel. Excuse me. Basically, if you're under 60,000 pounds total weight, you can land. So the 300 pounds worth of gas that I'll be spending, that's perfectly adequate.
Request refueling. Request rearming. Copy.
4 aircraft at least on the deck, plus myself. This is going to get busy.
Refueling complete. Chief, turn on the ground power. Chief, copy. Connect ground air supply. Copy. Chief, turn on the ground power. Copy. Rearming complete. Ground power is now on. Connect ground air supply. Ground air supply is now connected.
Stellar.
Copy. Ground air supply is now connected.
You got it. ICS comm check. Roger.
361. Hold position.
Roger. I'm closing the canopy.
361. Hold position. 361. Hold position.
All right, ready to start.
Hold position. 361. Hold position. 361. Hold position.
Well, that was never going to go well, mate. You've well overcooked that.
361, hold position. 361, hold position.
I just decided to go for that one. Nah, that makes more sense.
Hold position. 361, hold position.
You know what? We're going to turn that radio off right until I need to.
Takeoff when ready. Climb 300 at QFE 30.05. 361, continue taxi. 351, 351, hold position. 351, hold position. 351, hold position. 351, 351, hold position. 351, hold position. 351, hold position. 351, 351, hold position. 351, hold position. Copy. 351, hold position. Okay. 351, hold position. 351, 351, hold position.
Okay, so that's both jets. That's both engines spooled up, or just about. This one is just coming online. The wings popped out to the oversweep position. And back on the automatic CAD C. Brilliant.
351, you are cleared for takeoff when ready. Climb 300 at QFE 30.05.
No candy canes, that's always a good sign.
Uzi 51, cleared for startup. Wind 190 at 3 meters per second. Copy.
Stench traffic, Ghost Dogs 688. Radio check.
I have you 5x5.
Many thanks.
Roger. Copy that.
So, the INS alignments on a moving ship obviously take a little longer. It does, however, get them from the ship's and Earth navigation system, so it's not too bad. We also have a stored heading, which is a preset enabled by the mission maker. Makes things much faster. One thing I am just very quickly going to make a note of is the ship's BRC, or ship's return course. right now we are is
Ready to taxi.
there we go. Yeah. Very roughly that at the moment. Obviously get a proper BRC when it's time.
Radio check 253.
Last station, 5 by. Extended traffic, Ghost Duck 688, 1 by for the port catapult. Immediate takeoff will be requested. So because there's nobody planning on taking off anytime soon, or sorry, landing anytime soon on the deck, I'm going to make use of the waste catapult because I don't often use them and they could do with a bit of practice on them. And all I'm trying to do is line up the nose as precisely as I can with this.
Stennis traffic. The Tomcat on Cat 3, you are aware you're not taking up any weapons, right?
Hey Farm, I'm doing boat practice.
Copy that. Stennis traffic. 211 taxi to Cat 1.
There we go. So you press U when your nose is in the general direction of the hot shuttle. That was a little close to the wire in my opinion. Always check the area around you to make sure there's not any other daft people try to push their wings out like me. So you have to drop the nose down using the compression switch. Press U to engage with the catapult. Once the wings are fully in the outward position when you're ready to take off, flaps all the way down. Do your control system checks. You have a green light to say that you are hooked up onto the canopy rail down there, which is what you want. You're going to push them both up to the mil power. Being careful not to put on the afterburner. Then my favourite pet, the default key I believe is right shift and K. Nope, right shift and U. What did I press again?
Stennis traffic. Marshall Cat 1 lost.
He's getting ready to go. Catapult shoot, left shift and U, that's it, sorry. I keep forgetting, DCS actually cares about what shift function you use. Okay. Obviously someone's loading some sort of scripting in, there we go. Left shift and U. That character salutes. I do not touch the stick, I do not pull up. The aircraft does it by itself by the process.
345, 51 miles. Angels 18.
Gear up.
Friendly, bra. 015, 56 miles. Angels
Flaps
2,
up.
and a friendly, bra. 360.
Now I did
64
not
miles.
touch
Angels
the stick
28.
during that entire evolution. That yank back at the back is what happens when the aircraft just gets into the air. It does it all by itself. If you pull on the stick, you will over-rotate and you will fall. This is considered a bad thing. And then I get myself into the air. I'm going to get myself a fair distance out from the carrier. A good 10-20 miles, and then we'll approach the carrier. How about that?
We've got a friendly two-ship, Bra, 145, 2 miles.
To that effect, we're going to configure ourselves for as if we just basically were flying around and we thought, hey, there's a carrier, I want to land on it. So first of all,
Nails, 7 o'clock.
we're not going to worry about those nails. Let's see my clock. We're going to configure the hydraulic switch. There we go. Build up some speed. Looking good. Okay, we're already 4 miles out from the carrier. Once we get to 10 miles, I'll turn around and we'll start our reapproach. That should be a more than adequate distance. Give this plane a good old workout. So entering the case 1 pattern, whatever you're doing in terms of the circle or the coming in, you enter the pattern however you're supposed to. You may be orbiting the carrier 5,000 feet, but from 10,000 in stacks down to 5,000 feet until you are cleared to enter the pattern. But I'm going to do an immediate pattern entry just because A, the boat's quiet, and B, I'm impatient. This is already 10 miles in closing. So, pre-landing checklist.
Nails, 10 o'clock.
We're going to configure the radar as per your preferences. I like to have it set to 350 feet, which is very roughly where you should be at them when you're basically crossing the night name.
There's a friendly 4-ship, Bra,
I believe.
51 miles.
Must
Sorry,
it's fuck on this.
correction, 56 miles. Angels 3. Oh, we got nails right on our 6.
I don't care about that. I don't plan on getting shot down. I'm a lander.
We've got nails, 9 o'clock.
Okay.
There's a friendly.
We're going to configure ourselves with the landing tape.
Miles. Angels 9. Nails on our nose, 12 o'clock.
I'm going to keep using the TACAN. We'll do a visual approach today. So I've got the HUD in landing mode. We approach the carrier at about 1,200 feet with the hook down. This is so in real life they can see that you actually have a working hook and that you will be worth putting aboard. Wings are held swept manually. And then immediately, about 1 mile out, which at this speed is not going to take me long, boards are out, throttle's idle, wings out. I have totally overcooked this. Air brakes out. We're now slowing down quite a fair bit.
Nails, 7 o'clock.
About 1,000 feet in level. This is too high, actually. Maybe lower than that when I'm in the pattern, but.
F18 Dig Dong or monitoring SRS.
Alright, so I've got the flaps. I've now got the flaps down, this hook down. I've got my air brake out. and the gear down.
362, negative.
We then press the button for DLC, which is a button you will have pre-lined.
We've got nailed.
Ghost Dog in at the 90 for landing at the Stennis.
362, clear for start. Wind 1. We have a friendly.
Next thing we're going to do is we're going to start.
3 miles.
Next thing we're going to do is juggle the flight path marker until we're on speed, which at the moment we are most certainly not.
Nails on our nose. 12 o'clock.
Probably a bit too fast, I would think.
That's nails. 2 o'clock.
So we're going to go around on this because it is all kinds of messed up. So basically what you want is your wing marker in the middle of that E-bracket and the flight path marker to be somewhere around the vicinity of the base of the carrier when you're landing. 688 going around. So I'm going to take an immediate left turn and I'm going to take my own abort. All the while I'm making sure I'm trying to keep that ball in the middle as center as possible. This is particularly important when flying at low speeds and at low altitudes. Otherwise you're going to be eating pavement or water. At this stage now, all I'm trying to do is maintain my altitude, which is something like 500 feet. As you can see, I did not do the adequate rudder correction and I'm paying the price for it now. And this is going to be several kinds of screwed up, so this will be fun. So we're going to spoiler lift a little bit against my own judgment. I'm going to try and bring this thing down a little. Now the DLC board is all the way up. Nope, definitely not right.
Alright, those are some nails. 2 o'clock.
I should point out during this whole time my speed brake is out.
Nails. 7 o'clock. Looks like nails. 1 o'clock. Nails. 10 o'clock.
688 going around.
We've got friendly. Hornet. 11 o'clock. 1 mile. I've got nails. 4 o'clock. Houston, we've got nails 9 o'clock. Oh, I got nails on our nose, 12 o'clock.
I may have fucked that up a little. Yeah, landing's hard on a carrier. That's a really cool skin, whoever did that.
Yeah, hopefully not too soon. I didn't equip it. Jeez. Neither did I.
Oh, it's going to be getting dark as well, but that's a good time to quit. I'm not going to be landing in the landing at night in the server.
With both of us combined, we should burn for any units that have wheels down.
Well, that's about a 2.5 hour
And that's all we need.
live stream time. I hope that gave you at least the ramp start, at least, Cobra.
No idea. I think we need to transport that here.
The general pattern for case 1, to explain it,
Okay. So we can actually
is to enter parallel to the carrier on the starboard side at 1200 feet. Wait about 10 seconds or a mile and a half, whatever comes first. Left turn. You're going to make a left hand brake, put on the brakes, pull the throttles to idle, and let the wings extend fully. With the wings fully extended and speed at a fairly normal speed, you would drop the gear and press the button to enable your DLC. Once that's done, you will hopefully be 180 degrees running parallel to the carrier, so you've already kind of come like this. This way is port, by the way. And you're using this area to trim the aircraft, get it stable, and get yourself on speed. As you turn, you want to push yourself through about 450 feet altitude to line up with the carrier and finish the flight visually using DLC, and not too much throttle, but DLC specifically to raise and lower the angle of attack. Once you've done the landing, you then, as soon as you hit the deck, throttles forward just in case you bolter. If you don't, then it's a simple matter going to turn him off. Assuming, of course, there we go. Assuming, of course, you have trapped, you will not go anywhere even with the full burners on. Pull the throttles back to idle, lift the hook, let yourself unhook, and get off smartly to make sure other people can use it. I hope that makes something approaching sense. We'll hopefully see you on the server very soon, and I can more comfortably seat you from the back seat and actually operate your radar and shit for you. Because as you saw, Jester's good at catching radar contacts and giving you radar out. He's not completely infallible. For someone like yourself who's just getting started, it's going to feel like he's God. Once you get familiar with what he can and cannot do, it's actually pretty limited, and a competent Rio will always outsmart a single player Jester. Assuming, of course, the crew coordination is on point. Anyway, with that, I'm going to quit to the desktop, and I hope that was useful to whoever wants to consider buying the F14. I look forward to hearing your questions, and I will be putting this archived copy up on my YouTube channel. Since how I have figured out how to stop my internet connection dropping every hour or two. I haven't dropped a single frame. Catch you all sometime after now, and I look forward to seeing you all online in the very near future. Catch you soon. Bye bye.